Let's get it. You know what it is. You know what it is. It's Aswan Crookshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, checking in for a daily Move Swiftly thought, giving you a perspective on teamwork that you will not get anywhere else. Recording this, I believe it is, yes, March 19th, 2024. Officially 72 hours, about 3 days after I competed in the Shamrock Run. First time I did a Shamrock 10K that was hosted by my group, the group that I am so damn happy that I found, called the Palm Beach Road Runners. They put on a race for St. Patty's Day called the Shamrock 10K and 5K, and it was such a great experience. There was some other things going on that I had to address, and I just never had a chance to give you the recap of the race. So I did the 10K, and it was, like I said, an incredible experience, because first and foremost, it was the 47th time they've put this race on, and there were people there who raced, like grown adults with kids, grown men and women who raced, who was a part of this race when they were teenagers, and they're coming back, as parents, grandparents, things of that nature, and they're running in the same race. So, that mentality, that building a community, that's the fact that that was a reality, and the fact that they've been able to accomplish that is significant in itself when it comes to just building things that last, creating opportunities for your community to engage with each other and continue to grow and see, teenagers become adults, raise their families, things like that. All that stuff is huge. It's huge that they were able to do that. But in regards to how the actual race went, I'll say I'm pleased. I'm not going to say I'm happy with my results. I'll say I'm pleased with my results, because I know this wasn't your ordinary race. These were some real professional runners. These were runners that have been running since they were kids, cross country coaches, people that formerly competed in cross country races and things like that. So I was happy that I was able to come in second in my age group. I was happy that, let me not say happy, I was pleased. Like I said, I'm not going to be happy. The word happy doesn't get applied to second, Pleased can be applied to seven, but happy, you know what I'm saying? Because there's always that goal. Now that I've tasted the feeling, now that I've gotten the feeling of coming in number one in my age group, you're always, pushing for that and trying for that and hoping to get that. To be honest with you, I don't really think about it during the run, but when you look at the results and you see yourself second, you see what first got, and it was just literally just a couple minutes or a couple seconds away from being first, you start to think to yourself, man, what could it have been had I pushed myself a little harder, things like that, right? So, like I said, I came in second in my age group, top 20 overall, and I was pleased with the results. However, just saying that and understanding that in the way the race actually went, it has me thinking back to a practice that I had when I was a member of the Gideonites youth track team. All right, I had a coach, Trinidad coach, Trini coach, Caribbean coach. I'm Trini American, and my family from Trinidad, so it was great to get coached by Coach Chapman, because we as Caribbean, track and soccer, that's our thing, that's what we're all about. So I remember there was actually a practice. Now, before I even tell you this, let me just tell you, it was towards the end of the race. I did the 10K, so that's 6 miles. So it was that last 100 to 150 meters of the race where I was in a full-out sprint. Like, everything I had, I was going as fast. I was as fast as I possibly could go. Like, sprinting to the point where I passed 3 or 4 people just in that last 150 meters. So, excuse me. So the reason I'm bringing that up is because there had a time when I was playing, or when I was part of the Gideonites track team, and I was a distance runner, and there was a practice in which Coach Chapman had us doing distance running and things like that. He organized all the workouts and all that kind of stuff. So it was towards the end of the workout, and I just like this past Saturday at the 10K, I sprinted it out. That last, I had a bunch at the end. I was still, I still had a lot of energy at the end. And at the end of when I was finished, at the end of the race, Coach Chapman looks at me. He goes, wait a minute. You had way too much. at the end. That means you were shamming. Throughout the race. That means you weren't kicking it throughout the race. He just rips my ass a new one, because I had so much at the end of the race, and he came to the conclusion, hey, if you had that much at the end of the race, that means throughout the race you weren't giving it your all. You wouldn't put forth enough effort. And that's the same way I felt throughout, when I finished the Shamrock Run. It's man, if I had that much at the end, that means I wasn't going as fast as I could throughout the race. And this is the The reason for that is, for the most part, actually, I don't want this to sound like an excuse, because I don't, again, Move Swiftly sports marketing world, we don't make excuses here. But one of the things that did deter me was the fact that throughout the race, I didn't run with a group per se. For the most of the race, I was kind of by myself and, always kind of looking to pass the next person. But that's besides the point. The point of today's Move Swiftly thought, the point of today's topic, the thing we got to extract and take away from today is, again, are you giving forth your effort every single day, as opposed to wait until you can see that finish line and then all of a sudden you're going to try to sprint it out and get the most. But throughout, that can hinder your results if you don't start to pick up the tempo throughout your journey. This is also a metaphor for life. And again, if you're not giving it your all throughout your journey, you can't expect to, when you start to see the finish line or wherever you're trying to go, to, all right, now I'm going to sprint it out and go as fast as I can. Again, don't work like that, because you may not get the results, and a high chance you won't get the result that you wanted. Again, I wanted to be number one. I wanted to be the first place, not the second place. And had I been picking it up throughout that 6 miles, again, who knows what would have happened if I didn't have so much at the end, right? And I was able to pick it up and go faster throughout the 6 miles. So something to consider, something that you got to think about as you're going out in your journey. And I know everybody has their issues. Everyone in life has things that they're trying to accomplish. But the point of today's Move Swiftly thought is to make sure you're going at the correct pace, not going too slow and expecting, okay, when you see the finish line, now I'm going to sprint it out. You can't have that mentality. You got to have the quality tempo throughout your journey. All right. Main website to check out to dive deeper into all my work, makeyourmove.com. That's MakeYamove.com. One-stop shop for all your teamwork and your self-development needs. As one, Crookshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, checking out. You guys continue to move swiftly. We will talk more soon.